Hi, and welcome to Lori's Country Cottage. My name is Lisa. Today is How To Tuesdays, and today you're going to learn how to make a jelly roll rug. So for the jelly roll rug, you of course need supplies. The first thing you need is some fabric. So jelly rolls are perfect. There's 2.5-inch strips, 40 to 42 strips in a jelly roll. The jelly roll rug uses a full pack. The other patterns allow you some flexibility on how many strips to use. Of course, you can use your scraps from home, or you could make a rug all out of one fabric. For the jelly roll rug, you have some choices. There are 5 different patterns. There's the original jelly roll rug, which is an oval. Jelly roll 2 is clearly a rectangle. And I also thought with the jelly roll 2, that is also for placemats if you choose to cut it up and do that. The next one is the slice rug, so it's on the table at the front, so a half circle. That's great fun to do. And there are 2 other patterns, the colossal round rug. One jelly roll does a round rug, and then she does a colossal that uses 2 jelly rolls, so a very large rug. And then she came out with the jelly roll plus, which is a square rug. So once you choose your fabric, you need batting. You can use yardage for batting and cut your own 2.5 or 2.25-inch strips of batting. When I made my original jelly roll rug, I used scraps from home, so there's different kinds of batting in there as well. But as with most projects that take off in the quilting world, they've made it simple for us. They've cut us 2.5 and 2.25-inch rolls of batting. So just to give you an idea, the slice rug uses 1 small roll, but the rest of the projects require the larger roll, which is equal to 2 small rolls. So you have fabric and you have batting, now you need some thread to sew it together. One of these signature spools of thread is enough. You need 1,200 yards of thread. I like to use a variegated thread. That way it blends quite nicely. If you choose to contrast your thread, you can make that a design element for your rug as well. You need needles, of course. I suggest putting in a new needle when you start a new rug. The pattern calls for jeans 14 or 16. I made mine with top stitch 14s and that works well. So choose a 14 or a larger size needle and start with a new needle for your project. When I do my demo, I will show you how I use the magic clips for starting my project. They're optional, but you see them in all my videos. I use them a lot. If you are going to cut your own batting at home, you're going to need some heat press batting tape to join your strips together if you're doing either the jelly roll or the colossal rug, because that's a continuous piece of batting. It's not done in pieces. 2 of the most important things to keep in mind when making your jelly roll rug are the use of best press and using a flat surface. For the best press, as you're joining your strips together, if you have any bubbling, waffling, or curving, just take it away from your machine, put it on your flat ironing surface, apply a generous amount of best press, and make it the shape you need it. Straighten out any curved lines that you have, and a good press with best press will flatten any waffles or bubbles that you have. My second most important tip is to always sew on a large flat surface. If your rug is hanging off the back, it is pulling and will help to distort the shape of your rug. So use books that are stacked up or Rubbermaid containers that are turned over and create a nice flat surface for you. Also for the jelly roll rug, there are 4 different tools that help you fold your strips. There are 2 smaller ones. They work, they absolutely work. They just take a little bit of fiddling. I took both of these home on the weekend and I tried them both. They both work, and I was actually quite surprised. If you're going to make more than one, or you like how the jelly rolls go together and you decide you're gonna do bags or placemats or hot pots, it's actually a pretty good investment. These work exactly the same way. They're very similar in price, and if you made me choose one, I would choose the Gypsy one, but they're very, very similar. So those are the supplies you need to make a jelly roll rug. Let me show you how it's done. So each of the jelly roll rugs has a little bit specific instructions. For the jelly roll, the actual jelly roll and the colossal rug, you need to join all of your strips into one giant roll of 2.5-inch strips. For the other projects, you can work one strip at a time. Let me show you how to make your strips. You'll start with your 2.5-inch strip of fabric and lay your batting on top. Now this is a 2.25-inch strip of batting that I cut at home. All the other rugs are made with 2.5. Either one works fine. The 2.25 gives you a little extra room to fold. So here's how I use my Wonder clips. I fold to the middle, put in a clip, and I only do this to start my strip. When I move to the sewing machine, I'm going to show you how I do it without the clips. So same thing, other side folded to the middle, just so that they meet, don't overlap, because we're going to give this another fold and we don't want too much bulk. And notice also how I'm alternating my binding clips. There's a really good reason for that. So here's the second fold. Fold this so that your two folded edges meet, and slide that binding clip over both sides. As I said, I only do this when I'm starting my strips. Once I sit down at the machine, I don't use the clips anymore, but I found in my class, people were quite comfortable being able to start like this. Now it's time to sew. Let's move to my machine. So here's my strip already clipped. I'm going to sew with a 1/4-inch seam allowance, so I have my 1/4-inch foot on. And sometimes you just have to help it get started because there's some bulk there. Voila. So all I'm doing is matching my two folded ends and stitching a 1/4-inch seam allowance. Once I get to the end of my clips, there we go. This is all I do. Fold it to the middle and fold it over. And now I can sew. Stop, fold it in, fold it over, making sure these two edges are nice and lined up, and I stitch my 1/4-inch seam allowance. If you're doing the jelly roll rug, you just keep doing that until all of your strips are sewn. If you're working on one of the other rugs, you work in strips. So fold to the middle, fold again so that your edges match, and off we go. And that's how you sew your strips. The next step is to join your strips together. So I've prepared some at home. And I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to change to my open-toed foot so I can see what I'm doing, and set my machine to zigzag. And again, I have this written down on my pattern what my zigzag is. So for the jelly roll rug, she suggests that you nest your two strips so that the double fold is against a single fold, and they kind of fit together. One of the other patterns suggests you do it like this. It works either way, but I just prefer to do it this method. So all I'm going to do is put them in my machine, butt them together. I'm not forcing them together. I don't want them to overlap. I'm going to give a little back stitch at the beginning, And then I just let my machine do all the work. I'm lining up my center seam with the line on my foot and doing a nice easy zigzag to join my strips together. If I'm working in strip sets, I stop and I do a little tie-off stitch at the end and take it out of the machine. Let me show you what that looks like. There's my zigzag. Once you have your strips together, you simply follow the instructions to complete your rug. Thank you for joining me for How Tuesdays at Laurie's Country Cottage and the Jelly Roll Rug. Join us tomorrow for our Hump Day deals, where we have been having so much fun doing our live auctions of our clearance products.